is Sneha. Today we are going to do a revision on Germany driving theory exam, that is Führerschein Theorieprüfung. We will just cover some important topics. This is not just the whole syllabus, but which I felt are important from the exam perspective. So let's begin. Why should you see this video? If you are a person who is just going to begin your learning, then this video will give you an overview of all the important topics. And also for the people who have done their learning once but want a kind of brush up. And especially for the people who have done their training completely but have last minute confusions. Even when I was giving my exam, I had a lot of last minute confusions. So that is the reason I thought I'll make this video. About this exam, for a Class B driving license exam, there will be around 30 questions. Most of them are multiple choice questions. You will have around 60 minutes to answer this, and it is more than sufficient. You will have 20 from the basics. So that is like for all the classes, whichever you are giving, and 10 will be additional questions related to the particular class you are giving. So like if it is class B, then you will have 10. If it is class A, then maybe you will have 20 questions related to your car license. But the important point is you cannot afford to lose more than 10 points. So that is like if you are in doing a class B driving exam, then you can maximum do is 2 wrong. So that is the reason you should know the answers very correctly and your concept should have to be clear. In this exam, you can give it in 12 different languages, even English is one of them. For preparation, you can use the Fahrer Learner app. We used this. And there are many other learning materials which are available online as well. There is a proper explanation given. There are notes related to it. But in this, we will be just seeing the important topics. Now, what will be the topics we are going to cover? First, understand few terminologies which I will be using in this video very often, and basic road signs. Numericals, of course, it feels very complicated, but it's very simple. Then stopping and parking, right of way, that is a priority, and few tips and tricks. Built up area. So as soon as you hear this word built up area, you should imagine something like this. It means the city limit. It is actually the city. City is nothing but built up area. Outside built up area is outside the city limits. This is something like an country road where there will be a traffic flowing from both the directions. That is nothing but outside built up area. Autobahn. Autobahn is generally, you should imagine a picture like this, which will have 4 lanes, 6 lanes, or maybe 8 lanes. There will be traffic flowing in one direction and it will be divided in between. Autobahn is also like an expressway, a motorway. So you should remember this regarding the Autobahn. Next common words you will be hearing is carriageway and hard shoulder. So what is carriageway? Carriageway is nothing but the main road in which the actual traffic flows. That is the carriageway. So once you hear the word carriageway, you should also understand that of course you're not going to stop or park. And next is the hard shoulder. What do you mean by hard shoulder? This is the hard shoulder. The right side of the carriageway or the motorway is called as hard shoulder. So once you hear this hard shoulder word, then you should imagine something like if there is an accident or for some reason, if you are allowed to stop or park, you will do it on a hard shoulder way. In Germany, you are on the right side driving, so that is the reason you will have your hard shoulder always on the right side of the main road. Aquaplaning. You will come across these terms in lot of questions. Basically, what you should remember about aquaplaning is like when you're driving a car and there is lot of water on the road, then the contact between your tire and road is reduced, and because of that there is a possibility of skidding. So in the further slides we will see like how you should take care about this aquaplaning, how it will impact the braking distance, you shouldn't accelerate, and etc. Hazardous light and parking light. First thing is like this, both are different terms. Hazardous light is something like this when you press this button, and parking light is something like here. Hazardous light you are going to use when there is an traffic congestion in front of you, or there is an accident in front of you and you want to inform the people behind you like there is something happening in front and you need to take care. And parking light is something you are going to use if you are going to park in a built up area, or you are going to stop for unloading or unloading. So that time this is used. So there is a difference. You use them in particular conditions. So hazardous light is something when there is an mishappening, and parking light is used for some normal parking. So now next is the signs. First, what is it meaning of an sign in a blue circle? It means mandatory. So whatever is mentioned in the blue sign, you have to follow it. Like if it is like turn right here, it means you have to turn right. If there is a roundabout in the next circle, you have to follow the roundabout rules. Keep right means you have to keep on the right, and even if you have to overtake, you have to overtake from the right side. If it is like a footway, only these people, like only the pedestrians can use that path. If it is in blue, it is mandatory. This is what you need to remember here. Next, if there is a sign with a triangle and red, it means warning or a hazardous sign. This is like right now you don't need to do anything about it, but you should keep yourself prepared and understand that there is going to be a bend in the front. There is going to be a steep after some distance, or there can be a slope sign ahead. The road is going to be slippery. Or if there is like, if you see this after some distance, there is going to be an intersection or a crossroad. So by seeing this sign, you should keep yourself prepared and you don't need to do anything right away. Red circle group. It means like if there is a circle in a red, it means prohibition. Here when you see here prohibition for entry, it means that there is an one-way street and you're not supposed to enter that. If there is like prohibition like this, then car and above are not allowed. It means it is only for the motorcycle. Here only truck are not allowed. It means only the car can go or a motorcycle can go, something like this. And here the height, like if it is 3.8 meters, then if your vehicle is like 4 meters in height, then you are not supposed to take the road. You are not allowed here. Like 2.5 or whatever you can go. Similarly, not just for height, even for the width, there is a sign. So if it is a sign like 3.8 in the width, your car should not exceed 3.8 meter. And even this is for an mass of your vehicle. So if it is 5.5 ton, then you can go. If it is more than this, you're not allowed to go. So this is a prohibition sign. Next is priority. These all signs are related to priority. Priority is like you have a free flow of traffic on this line. This is also related to priority, like you have priority over the horizontal traffic flowing. This is end of the priority. We will go in depth for the priority in next coming few slides, but you should remember like these all signs, when you see, these are all related to priority. Like if you are facing this sign, oncoming traffic or the traffic in on the other sides have one of these signs. Autobahn. As previously mentioned, autobahns are also called as motorways or express roads or motor roads. So these all signs are related to Autobahn. So once you see this sign, then you should remember that these are related to Autobahn. So if there is something sign like this, it is very clear that Autobahn is going to start. So once you understand like this sign, then your answer should be something related to Autobahn. End of prohibition. All these signs are related to end of prohibition. It means that whenever you see something in gray, it means end of prohibition. Like say if there is an this sign or a this sign, it means your driving speed is some 60 in the previous road. Now as soon as you see this sign, you can increase your speed. Here it was 30, then once it is done, you can increase your speed like to 40 or 50 or whatever is applicable on that road. This is one special sign, like this is end of all the prohibition but except for parking. All these signs which we discussed previously are just the examples, but you need to go through all the different signs applicable for the German road to prepare yourself for the exam. When you see something in yellow color, it means a city starts, a town starts, a built up area starts. All the rules regarding a built up area are applicable. So if you are going into an city or an built up area, you see this board, and once you are exiting, you see this board. So you should understand like once you see this yellow color board, your built up area starts and all the rules regarding built up area will begin. Now we saw so many signs, but there are few confusing signs. Like here you can see this sign, it is 2 kilometers. Okay, there is something like Autobahn is going to end ahead of 2 kilometers. And you see here again 3 kilometers. This is also ahead. But what is the difference between such signs? It is like if you see some sign without this arrow mark on the side, it means that after 2 kilometers or after 200 meters, this sign, whatever it is representing, is going to start. And here it means that right now, like for 800 meters, there is going to be this tunnel. It means like right now for 3 kilometers, there is going to be no overtaking zone. When you have to answer such kind of question, you should concentrate, is there an arrow or if it is empty. If it is empty, it means that ahead of 2 kilometers, the Autobahn is going to end. And here it is like right now, the next 3 kilometers, overtaking is going to be prohibited. Now, in this slide, as we already understood that this is prohibition and this is mandatory. What is the difference is like here 60 is the maximum speed you can drive your car, and here your car should at least drive minimum 30 speed. So this is the minimum and this is the maximum what you can drive. So if it is in a blue color written as 60, and if your car or your vehicle cannot go till 60 kilometer speed, then you are not supposed to use that road. And here in this diagram, we should understand here like wherever there is a red, it means that person has to wait and the other person has the priority. Just to explain another point here, it's like if there is an road and there is construction going on. So the person on the side where the construction is going has to wait. If you are driving the car and there is a construction going in front of you, then you have to wait. And if there is a construction on the other side of the road, then the oncoming traffic has to wait and you can go. There are many questions on tunnel. So I thought like I should include this in my slides so that once you understand, these are the points you have to remember, and all other points of course will be wrong when you're answering the questions. So what you should understand here is like if there is a question on tunnel and the options can be like you have to take off your sunglasses, you need to take the note of the safety installations such as emergency exits, telephone emergency numbers, and also sound change. Like when you enter the tunnel, there is a difference in the sound from outside, so that change has to be noted. That is also one of the option and it is correct. And if you're entering the tunnel and it is like two-sided road, it means that if there is an oncoming traffic, then you should always drive on the right side of the road. Even if it is daylight, you are entering the tunnel, you should use dipped headlights. You are not supposed to make U-turn in the tunnel. These are some correct answers for a tunnel question. There is an interesting situation, like if there is an accident or you are not able to leave the tunnel for any purpose, what you have to do is you have to leave your car unlocked, and plus you have to leave the ignition key on the car, and then you have to take the exit tunnel road you can go. But this is only when there is an accident or some reason where you cannot leave the tunnel. But if say like there is a traffic congestion for any purpose, you are waiting for some time, then you are not supposed to leave the car. There are also few questions on roundabout, so I have covered it here. So it is like when the vehicle is already in the roundabout has the priority over the vehicle entering the roundabout. So the person has to wait for the vehicle which is already in the roundabout. And also you have to proceed in the direction mentioned in this roundabout picture. Then also the important thing is like you should not stop on the carriageway, that is on the main road. You are not supposed to stop when you are in the roundabout. And also person who is entering the roundabout, you don't need to indicate because you already know that you will be entering from this direction. But when you are leaving the roundabout, then you have to indicate right. And of course you can always leave on the right side, so you will be indicating right. You are not supposed to cross the central island on the roundabout is also one of the option, but you can only cross it if your vehicle is too huge and for any unavoidable reason you cannot go in the right side and you have to enter the central island, then only it is allowed, or else generally you are not supposed to cross the central island or in the roundabout. Now we will do some numericals. So numericals sound very difficult, but if you understand this properly, then you can score full marks because there is only one right answer. There cannot be any confusion. So when we are talking about numericals, the first thing is of course the stopping distance. So what is stopping distance? Stopping distance is the sum of reaction time and braking distance. It is like when you see a sign, then you will take some time to react, and that time your vehicle has covered some distance, and then you will brake and your car stops here. So that is the braking distance. So the sum of both of this will give you the stopping distance. So now let's first see what is reaction and braking distance, and then we'll come back to stopping distance again. Reaction distance can be calculated using a formula. The formula is like speed in kilometers per hour divided by 10 into meters. For a normal human being, the reaction time is 1 second. And if he is not under any influence of medication or alcohol or drug or anything else, the reaction distance is always 1 second. Even if it is in an emergency condition, say like if there is a kid coming on the road, or if there is a wild animal coming on the road, the reaction distance always remains the same. That is 1 second. So the calculation will go like, if it is 30 kilometers per hour, then your reaction distance will become like 9 meter. But if the driver is under some medication, if he's having drugs, or he's sleepy, or if he's tired, then his reaction time increases, which in turn increases the reaction distance. So before he reacts, there is a time, or there is a distance traveled by the car. That is the reaction distance. So let's do an example. Now let's say we are taking 100 as an example. So if your car is going at a speed of 100 divided by 10 into 3, so your answer is 30 meters. So that is the reason. If it is 50, then it is like 5 3s are 15. If it is 120, it is like 12 3s are 36 meters. So generally what happens is like, if your speed is doubled, then your reaction distance also doubles. Now what is braking distance? Braking distance, to calculate, there is a formula. Now considering it is a normal condition. So what is a normal condition? It is like you are seeing a sign, you are prepared to brake. Then your braking distance will become speed in kilometers per hour by 10 into speed in kilometers by 10. That is speed by 10 into speed by 10. But if it is an emergency case, like I said, if the kid is coming in front of you, or if there is a wild animal coming in front of you, and that time then you have to do an emergency braking. That is emergency. The word also used is evacuous braking, normal or standard. So if it is an emergency condition, then the same formula will be divided by 2. It means the braking distance has to be reduced by half, because it is an emergency case. So if it is 30 kilometers, it will become 9 in normal case, but 4.5 in an emergency situation. So let's do an example for this as well. If it is say 100 kilometers, so how it will be now? 100 divided by 10 into 100 divided by 10. Your answer will become 100 meters. So your braking distance is 100 meters. But if it is an emergency case, it will become divided by 2, and your answer will be 50 meters. And here how the distance changes is like, if there are questions they can ask you, like if your speed is doubled, then here it becomes quadrupled. But in reaction distance, if your speed is doubled, it becomes reaction distance also becomes double. So now we understood what is reaction distance and braking distance. Sum of both is nothing but stopping distance. So it is very simple. So for 30 it becomes 80. Let's do an example for 100 as we did before. So for 100, your reaction distance is 100 divided by 10 into 3. So that is nothing but 30, plus your braking distance is going to be 100 meters, because it is 100 into 100 divided by 10 and 10. So it will become 100. So your total answer is 130 meters. But similarly, if it is an emergency situation, then it will be 30 plus this 100 becomes divided by 2. It is 50. Then your answer is going to be like 80 meters. It is as simple as this. But even if you understand this question or how to solve this, you should read the question very carefully. What are they actually asking you for? Are they asking you for stopping distance? Are they asking you for braking distance, or the reaction time or reaction distance? And is it an emergency situation? You need to evacuously brake, or is it a normal situation? So if you read the question properly and calculate it according to these formulas, there are just 3 formulas you need to remember, then your stopping distance problem is solved. Now let's understand the speed limits. The main are 3. One is built up area, outside the built up area, and the Autobahn. Autobahn is always 130 kilometers per hour. If the question is for motorway or expressway, the speed becomes 130 kilometers per hour. Also, not only for an Autobahn, but if there is a carriageway with 4 lanes, I mean like there is 2 lanes for traffic for one direction and 2 lanes for traffic for another direction, with an hard shoulder on both the sides, then also the maximum speed which it can be is 130 kilometers per hour. But if you are inside a built up area, it is always 50 kilometers. This is the maximum speed. Outside the built up area is 100 kilometers per hour. This is even for a car or a truck or whatever. This is the maximum speed you can go. These two are very important. Now, weight of the car or a truck for which the maximum speeds you can drive is less than 3.5 ton. But if your car or a truck is more than 3.5 ton or it is with a trailer, then your speed limit for the outside built up area becomes 80 and on the Autobahn it becomes 100. These are the two things you have to keep in mind. These are also kind of the numericals because you have to remember these numbers. So this is a sign before a railway crossing or a level crossing. So this will start like when your car is like 240 kilometers away, then 160 kilometers, then 80 kilometers. These are the multiples of 8. 8 to the 16, 8 3 the 24. And also one more thing which you need to remember with these signs is as soon as you see the first sign, you should stop overtaking. Other few numericals, and these numericals are not sometimes multiple choice questions. You need to actually enter the value. So you should remember this value exactly. So if you remember these values, then your numericals are done. So minimum tire thread of a tire it can have is 1.6 mm. If your vehicle is 3.5 ton or less than that, and it can go in any lane. How is it like? Just assume it is a 4-lane road. So if it is a 4-lane road and the heavy vehicles or the slow moving vehicles or you can say agriculture vehicles should always take the right side of the road. They should be moving in this road. But if it is less than 3.5 t, then you can take any of the road you want. So this is the answer you need to enter in your exam. Now next, if your car is being towed or you're towing a trailer, so distance between your car and trailer and between the towing vehicle and your vehicle should always be 5 mm. For a class B, the maximum trailer you are allowed to use is 1. You can just tow 1 trailer for a class B. Roadworthiness test is actually conducted for a new car after 3 years. But thereafter, for every 2 years, you have to do the roadworthiness test. It means like if you are buying a used car, you have to get the roadworthiness test done after 2 years. Trial period is also for 2 years. That is the probation period. This is another interesting questions about the load. There are many questions asked on this. It is very simple. If you are carrying a load on your vehicle, what should be the length of? In front of a vehicle, maximum what your load can project is 0.5 meters or you can say 50 centimeters. And the height should be 2.5. It means you cannot load your vehicle something like this with a more height. It should be 2.5 meters. And behind the vehicle, there are two distances you can actually put. These are the maximum limits we can put. So if you are going to travel more than 100 kilometers, then your distance should be always 1.5. You cannot put a load more than 1.5. But if you are going to travel less than 100 kilometers, then your distance, you can increase your load for up till 3 meters. Out of all of this, the most important thing is like behind your vehicle for the load after 1 meter. Marking it with a light or with a flag or with a paint or some kind of marking has to be done. So before 1 meter, you actually don't need to mark it. But whatever, if you are extending it for 1.5 or 3 meters, you can extend it. But you have to make a marking after your load exceeds 1 meter. And for the side, the maximum you can, your load for a car can project is 2.5 mm. So in this question, this 1 meter is important. Then we will talk about stopping and parking. So actually stopping and parking is very simple. It is like stopping is like you stop the car, parking is like you park the car. But when you actually start doing the questions or you start answering the numerical questions out of this, there will be a slight confusion. So I thought I will cover this one as well. So what is stopping distance? Stopping is just for a short period of time. Just say like for few seconds or few minutes. And parking is for a long period of time, maybe for hours or it can extend for days. We know this. Then what is the confusion? Let's see. Now let's discuss stopping distance and also some time limits. Wherever you are allowed to stop, the maximum stopping time is 3 minutes. The stopping can be for loading and unloading of passengers or some goods, load, anything, but you can only stop for maximum of 3 minutes. And if there is cross like this is called as sand and reefs cross, and if it is available, then you should always stop in front of this. And for stopping in a traffic signal, or maybe if you're stopping somewhere near a signboard, then you have to maintain a distance of 10 meters so that you don't conceal those signs for the other vehicle. So even if you know this 10 meters, then there are a few questions like if the light is turning from green to red, then should you stop or should you go? Then you have to calculate your stopping distance and see if you can stop before 10 meters. Like if you're already driving at 50 kilometers per hour, then you cannot stop before 10 meters if you are near the traffic sign. So you have to calculate the stopping distance, and then you can decide you have to stop or you have to go. So this is about the stopping distance. Now let's discuss parking distances. Wherever you see this sign, actually you can park. You can park with a parking desk, or you can also park with a parking meter wherever it is allowed. In built-up area, there are many locations or many places where you can actually park, but you should know what is the distance, and there are questions on this. So first is like you are allowed to park before or after 15 meters from the tram or a bus sign. What does this actually mean? It means something like if there is a sign here, bus or a tram, say here, then what you can do, if this is the distance, say 15 meters, then you can stop your car anywhere between this. You can stop, but you cannot park here. You can only stop if you're not impeding the tram or the bus which is coming, or the passengers which are getting out of the bus or the tram. But you can stop in this distance, but you can park only after 15 meters from the front and from the back. So this is the place where you can park. Now next, if there is a hard shoulder line, or in the parking area there are some lines like this, you can see, then how much is the distance you should leave from that solid line? That is 3 kilometers away. You should keep this in mind. Now in built-up area. So when you hear a word in the built-up area in your question, then the distance is always 5 meters. So built-up area means you already know it is also for the crossroad or junctions. So if there is a question like where are you going to park, at what distance, crossroad or junction, then it is 5 meters. If it is pedestrian crossing, of course you can park behind a pedestrian crossing, but you have to maintain a parking distance of 5 meters. If it is any question where you are going to stop and the question includes the word built up area, then your answer should be 5 meters for parking. If it is like for parking outside the built up area, then it is always 50 meters. Then you don't need to worry, even if there are questions like we are going to park in front of and send attentive crowds outside the built up area. So as soon as you see the word outside the built up area, your answer has to be 50 meters away. And for parking in the built up area, your car can have maximum of 2.8 ton. This you have to remember. If your car is less than or equal to 2.8 ton, then you can park, or else you are not allowed to park. Moving on. Now we are coming to the very important topic, that is the right of the way and the priority. It is little bit confusing, but if you understand, and I will be demonstrating few examples. So let's begin. For German roads, pedestrians have always the highest priority. So even whatever is the rule or whatever is the priority you're following, but there is a pedestrian trying to cross, they should always be allowed. For the bicycles, if there is no rule, there is no cross junction, or if they're trying to turn to left or right or something, then you should always look out for them to allow the bicycles to go. This right of priority is on the crossroads and the junctions. Mainly, there are two things you should understand. One is a scenario without the boards, and another is the scenario with the boards. So we will do some examples on this, and it will be easy for you to understand. But before we go to this section, let's see what is the hierarchy and what you should remember actually. So just imagine you are at a crossing junction, and if there is a police standing and giving you the instruction to follow, then whatever is the sign or the traffic light, always what the policeman says has the highest priority. Next, if there is a cross junction and there is a traffic light there, then you should follow what the traffic light is saying. If it is green, you go. If it is red, you stop. So only the confusions are here too, with the traffic signboards and the right before left one. So let's see what it is. Coming to the first scenario, you are on a cross junction. Your car is always here in the questions in the exam. When does the right over left rule applies? In a cross junction without any priority boards, that time right over left applies. You just have to not think much. So whoever is on the right can go first. There is only one rule here. Let's do an example. So just imagine there is a car here and there is a car here. Who is to my right? This person is to my right. So this person will go first. Then I will be the second person to go. And this will be the third person to go. So it is very clear, right over left. Let's take another example. Just say there is a car here and there is a car here. Then who goes first now? Of course, right to me is this car and right for this car is this one. This is going to be the first, second, and you will be the third person to go. So let's do another example. And there is another one scenario left. You are here. There is a car to your left and you are right to him. Who will go first? I will go first. This person will go second and this person will be third. You will be the first and these other two cars have to wait. There is one more scenario can be possible. Like imagine there is a car here, there is also a car here. At the same time, there is also a car here. Everybody has someone at his right. So who is going to go first? So at this point, the answer should be like everybody has to wait, make a sign, decide who will go first, discuss, and then you can go. But all other scenarios, I think those are clear for you. Now coming to the next one, with the second scenario with the signboards. So what does this mean? If you are facing these two signs, then the other two roads will be facing one of these signs. And if you are facing these two signs, then other two people will be facing these two signs. This is like you have the priority to go to any road. Here also you have priority to go to any road and you have priority over the horizontal traffic. And if you have this sign, you have to give away and stop. So let's see some examples. In this scenario, if your car is here, then you will be having one of this sign and or you will be having one of this sign. Who has the priority? You have the priority over the car standing in these two roads. So let's take an example. If there is a car here or if there is a car here, then of course you have the priority and you go. If you have this, then also you have the priority always over the horizontal traffic. Now the confusion will be when there is a person here. Even he is facing this sign. So there can be a scenario like he has to go straight and you have to go straight. Then no confusion. Both of you can go because you are going in the straight direction. Next scenario can be like you both want to turn to left side. So you are going to go here and this person will go here. Then both can turn in front of each other. So that is also not a problem. The problem is only when one person here wants to turn left and the other person wants to come straight. Now who will go first? Here there is another rule that the person who is trying to turn to left has to wait and the person who is going to go straight can go first. So here in this scenario, this person will go first and then you can go. Yeah. So similarly, if you are going straight and this person wants to turn to the left, then of course here this person is going to wait. Now you will go first and this person will go second. So this is the only rule you have to remember with such boards. If the person is coming from the horizontal end, he will always wait. For the person who is coming as an oncoming traffic or is coming in front of you, you have to decide whoever is turning left has to wait and whoever is going straight can easily go. There are another set of priorities. If there is a sign like this, it means that on this particular road there is a priority and other person will be facing another sign. Something like they are not going to go into this priority. So they will wait for you. But these are all the signs which are related to priority. As you can see in this picture, imagine you are standing here and then this person will also have such kind of priority because whole road has a priority. This section of the road is completely having priority. Now if there are cars standing here and there is a car standing here, then of course you have the priority or the person standing here has the priority. So there is no confusion with these people because they have this triangle sign and they are going to wait. But there is another thing you should know, like if you are following the priority road, there is no problem. But if you are leaving the priority road and if someone is trying to enter the priority road, now who has the priority? Always the person who is leaving the priority road has the highest priority because of course this person is going to have the triangle and if he is trying to enter, he already has give way. So he will give you the way and you can go. Now what is the confusion here? If there is a car here, even he has this priority and so if he is going to go straight and you are also going to go straight. Now both of you are leaving the priority. Now who will go first? So now you should remember that another rule comes in picture, that is right over left. So the person on the right has the priority to go first. So here in this situation, I will go first and this car will go second. So these are the things which you should understand for such board. So there is not much confusion. So only things which you are going to remember is like if you are going to turn on the priority road, then you don't need to worry. You always have the priority. Of course, you are going here. Only thing is like if you are leaving the priority, even more priority over stop and give way. But if both are having the same priority and want to go straight, then another rule comes in picture, that is right over left is considered. Now I think you have much more understanding of this triangle. We already understood like if there is a police who is managing the traffic, you whatever is the signboard or the traffic line, you listen to the police. Then if there is a traffic light, you go as per the traffic light signs. If there is a traffic signboard, we already saw the priority road, saw the scenarios. And if there is no signboard, then there is only just one rule, that is right before left. And there are few exceptions for right over left. Like if there is an fire vehicle or an ambulance coming, then that time you have to give them the priority. So that time there is an exception for right over left. So if you understand this, I think you can answer many of the priority sign questions as well as the videos for those. Now coming to the last section of this video, that are few tips and tricks. What you should remember, when you are driving a car, even if it is night time, you should always drive the car in the dipped light mode. But if it is a dark road, then you can use the full beam. In this full beam session, you should remember another point, that is if it is a wide road, you should drive with such a speed that your stopping distance is as you can see in the full beam light. But if there is a narrow road, then you should drive slowly, or you should maintain a speed that when you stop, you can stop at the distance of your half beam. The answers are always like you should neglect mistakes of others. If someone has broken a rule, or if someone is trying to overtake, you should properly follow the rule. Or if someone is tailgating you too much, then you're not supposed to tailgate back. All these such kind of scenarios, you should keep in mind that the answer should be something like you neglect others' mistakes. This is especially for we Indians, that if there is any part broken or if there is any issue, then you're not supposed to repair it or you're not supposed to fix it by yourself. You should always, the answers are like you should always take it to garage to repair it. And even like if you want to wash the car, the answer is like you should take car to the washing center, not washing by yourself. If there is a bus or a tram on your side, you always drive on a walking speed. But if there is a bus or a tram which is stopping at the station, then even if it is on the opposite side, you should drive at a walking speed. So you should always remember when there is bus or a tram stopping for the passengers to be loaded or unloaded, you should always drive your car at a walking speed. Few things as we already discussed, especially for the questions of numericals of stopping distance or braking distance, reaction time, you should read the question very carefully and understand what they have actually asked. And also if you are answering the priority questions, read the options very correctly. You are already so much engrossed in answering. As soon as you see the picture, you answer, oh, this person goes first, this person goes second or something. And the question is just like who should indicate. So you should read what is the question exactly they are asking for, and then you should pick your answer. And yeah, like of course you have to read the options, because there are another things like when you are answering the priority question, then there is like you have already answered who has the priority, but there is something like you have to wait. But there is an option like wait at the stop line, so you have to wait, so you have to tick that option as well. You know that there is a sign something like now you are supposed to turn to left, but there is an option indicate to left or indicate to right. If there is something like right, you have to indicate to right. Tick what all is applicable. So when you are seeing the video, please concentrate at the first time itself. Even see if there are any cyclists or motorbikes in your side mirror or in your rear mirror on the top, and be prepared to answer all the questions regarding this video. I really hope that you liked this video. Session was informative, also help you with your preparation for the theory exam. If you really like this video, please do subscribe and leave your comments. What do you think about the video? So thank you from Snevika and all the very best for your exam. Good luck.